When I told my mechanic this, the first thing my mechanic said was, "Oh, it sounds like what's on the outside is getting on the inside." Hello, everyone. Shanaecartwright, success strategist. And today I have your success strategy. Keep on watching. All right. So not too long ago, I had this encounter, or this experience rather, where my antenna on my car was completely missing. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how it happened, but all I know is that I came outside one day and my antenna was gone. I wasn't really concerned because, sometimes when we look at things that don't seem like it's an emergency, we kind of put it off on the back burner. But eventually I got around to calling my mechanic and I inquired about antennas missing and had they ever experienced anything like that before. My mechanic then proceeded to tell me that they had never really heard of that, but they were sure it happened. They tried to ask me if I remembered how it happened or when it happened. And I told them that I had no clue. I know we had a snow not too long ago, maybe about 4 weeks ago. I remember shoveling a little bit of snow off of the roof of my car, but even then I didn't think that the pressure on the car or the force of me using the shovel to remove the snow from my car would have taken off my antenna. But needless to say, the antenna was missing. I asked them would they do some pricing and let me know what they could find, and I would be ready to bring my car in to have it repaired. I didn't hear back from my mechanic, so eventually I ended up having to get my car serviced anyway. And let me tell you, let them know that I was having issues in my car. That number one, my radio, the signal was weak, it was poor, and there was a lot of static and interference because of my antenna. They said that was pretty much normal. If you're missing your antenna, you're going to have an interference with signal. You're going to have other stations coming in between, and it's going to sound all jumbled up and mangled. So I figured, okay, yeah, that sounds about right. That makes sense because your antenna is hear and receive your radio or be able to use any type of stereo audio function within your car. So I figured, hey, that makes sense. But then I remember and I told my mechanic, I said, hey, but not only am I having issues with interference and static, and sometimes the signal is out on my radio, I'm also experiencing where sometimes my car gets foggy, that I can be driving and before I know it, if it rained maybe the day before, it's a little foggy and maybe the condensation, I have fog on the inside of my car. I mean, it's completely covered, back, front, side windows. And it's so bad that my vision is impaired when I'm driving. When I told my mechanic this, the first thing my mechanic said was, "Oh, it sounds like what's on the outside is getting on the inside." And then what's happening is that the seal has now been broken. He said, with your antenna, the type of antenna that you have, we found out that we have to go on the inside and fix it. All over me, I was just thinking about how this connects so well spiritually, that how we as individuals, we have spiritual antennas. And I believe that when we are connected to God, when we have accepted Jesus Christ and his son, we have a divine connection, that there are these wavelengths that we are able to receive information and data as we're listening, communication, if we're connected. But what struck me with what the mechanic was telling me about the seal and my seal being broken because of my antenna, and that he had to go on the inside of my car to fix the antenna, reminded me of what happens when there is an interference with our signal with the Lord. When there is an interference with our signal, with the communication with the Holy Spirit, and maybe there are things from the outside getting on the inside that are causing distractions and interference from what we hear, then not only is our hearing impaired, but our sight is impaired. You all, I almost took a lap. I almost ran when I heard him say that because I got so excited, and it reminded me that it is so important. It's so vital for us to keep our spiritual antennas intact, that we ought to seek out the voice of the Lord, making sure that our antenna is in complete function, and that we have an opportunity to have our spiritual antennas restored. The Bible declares, he who has an ear to hear, let him hear. Faith comes by hearing, but we also have to be able to see. It is through hearing that our faith is built. And by that hearing, we're able to walk in the path that God has for us. So I ask you this question today. Is your spiritual antenna intact? Is your spiritual antenna intact? And if it's not, you may want to consider having it repaired. The thing about our antennas is that there is an internal connection. Maybe there are external factors that are affecting the way we view and receive data and information from the Lord. Seek out God's face in this hour and make sure that your spiritual antenna is intact, that there is no interference, no static that will keep you from hearing what the Lord is saying. And in turn, you'll be able to see and hear clearly. I hope this blessed you today. As always, a mind change equals a life change. And I will see you all next time. God bless you.